ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SARG Superspeedway series. We've been at Daytona, we've been at Talladega. Those were the two tracks that we were at for the first four races. But for this round, we're switching it up. We're now going to Michigan Superspeedway. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Michael Norman. And Michael, we've been seeing a lot of pack racing, and we're starting to see that the pack racing is going to continue here at Michigan. But there's a slight difference that we're going to be seeing from what we've been seeing previously.
Absolutely. You know, I want to start things out by saying this. I'm filling in tonight for Tyler Riggs. Tyler Riggs has come down with, is very sick, and we're wishing him a very speedy recovery. Tyler, man, this one's for you, man. But yeah, we're going to see a lot of different thing for tonight, and that's tire wear. You know, Talladega, Daytona, you don't usually see a lot of tire wear because it's just wide open, very not, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not very tight corners. Here at Michigan, yeah, it's flat out for these trucks, but it's also tight corners enough to where you're going to definitely see some tire wear here tonight. Mainly being like you're going to see them go from being flat out for the first couple of laps to having to start half throttling and quarter throttling on entry just for these cars to be able to make the corners.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing these drivers really have to figure out how to really patient themselves with the tire wear and figuring out when they're going to be pushing, when not to push. But right now, it's going to be a lot of drivers trying to figure out how pack racing is going to work for them. Like we stated, this is going to be a long race. This is race number 5 of the 12 that you'll be running here so far. We're inching closer and closer to the halfway marker of this whole entire season. But we have hit the halfway marker of the regular season so far, Michael, and the point standings are starting to look a little interesting. The points for the playoffs for these drivers is very different from most series. Most of the time, it's a set position these drivers are looking for. And right now, we're going to have 12 drivers that are going to make it to the playoffs. Your first top 10 in points automatically get put in. And then from 11th to 20th, whoever's the most wins in that group gets to move on. And if none of them have wins, then it's based off of points. So a lot of mind games are going to be set up here coming to the end of this thing. And some of the drivers that are outside of the top 10 might be looking for a win here at Michigan just because it's a lot more about tire wear than it is about the draft and a lot of luck. But as we're getting set up, Michael, let's do a rundown of where the drivers are going to be starting.
Absolutely. You got Quinn Gingrich on the pole in that Jimmy Johnson-inspired scheme. Next to him is going to be Brandon Hauff in the 9 car.
Yeah, Hoff's going to be someone to watch out for as he is right now our points leader, was last week, and continues on. Second in the second row, it's going to be Derek Newsom in 3rd place and Alex Fox in 4th. And then in 5th, you got Ben McDonald as well as Connor Horn. Connor Horn coming off of a win last week, our only 2-time winner this season, and a driver to watch out for moving forward as he continues to show momentum, starting 6th so far.
Yep, Robbie Lyons in 7th, Alex Bell 8th, Colby Wells 9th, and Lucas Cram rounding out the top 10 in that number 44 machine.
As Gingrich is going to be its first pole of the season, as we're going to just let the rest of the grid go on through. Lucas Cram has the most poles so far this season with 3. Alex Fox has 1, and now Gingrich added to the board of drivers with a pole. So good to see a little bit of difference being mixed up here, as that is our grid. Is going to be it. Lights are off. We're going this time by. Michael, it's 88 laps that these drivers are working with, and we got word the competition cautions on lap 40. I believe it was 40 or was it 45?
It's 40. 40, and it's the stage break. Top 10 in points get up to 10 points depending on where they finish. So it's going to be a race within the race, and I'm not sure. You said it earlier. What exactly do you think the tire strategy or the the race analysis is going to be? How far these cars can go on fuel?
I mean, I believe just based on how the fuel has been working from Daytona and Talladega, I believe a lap around 20 to 25 is the marker these drivers are looking for fuel and tires to come in. So early on, you got to start worrying about your tires because they are going to get burned up very quickly. The pace truck pulls off, and Gingrich getting ready to lead the way. As everyone else is already getting stacked up at the back end, they're really not sure where to go. They're all according in the back, but starting up front, the 48 and the 9 get off with a fantastic start.
That was a huge stack up for the race leader there. He brought him down very slowly, but he didn't really even get a good jump Also, something I'm noticing here too is that right now the sun is behind the clouds, as it looks to be a bit of a cloudy day here at Michigan.
Very cloudy indeed. As we take a quick look here while we're running first lap here, track temp 83 degrees, outside temp is 65. It's a little cool out there for these drivers. As up front, it's going to be Hoff and Fox moving on. Gingrich is going to drop all the way to third on the high side, going to make things work. Fox going to be dipping it low below the 9, trying to make a pass here. And you're starting to see, yes, we are at a different track, and there is a lot of bump drafting going on with these drivers as they are getting all shuffled up. Newsom there was getting a huge shove from Bell, as well as we're starting to see Connor Horn to be up in the middle of this group.
Absolutely. As they go, you're going to see 2 truck tandems. That's how the 27 and the 9 were able to pull out to that lead right at the beginning here. But here comes last week's winner, and that 67 for the lead.
And Connor Horn with a huge run on the inside and is going to be trying to get by Fox here. And they're still side by side, almost making contact. There's a 3-4 wide contact in the middle as they continue to fan out onto the inside. They are all over the place now as we're staying green as the first yellow flag comes out.
First yellow flag of the day comes out, and that's the 11 of Brett Murphy around. Looks like his engine has blown or has some real serious damage under the hood.
That all started around, I believe, 15th place, and you're going to see them all get clustered up. It starts around where the 20 machine is, in the middle of that Tide machine. He gets pinched, and then everyone just starts scattering, and the 2 really shoved into Murphy, and more contact. That was the one of Jared Darling that came in late, hitting Murphy there, and we'll take another look at this, but the 20 machine really got pinched coming out of 4s. There were 4 wide there. Not a lot of space to work with as they were coming through turn number 4 and onto the front stretch, excuse me.
No, not at all. There were 4 wide. Like I said, I have no idea why. I mean, the track is plenty wide. I get that, but it's, voice, work with me here. It's just too early for that, and there was no need for that as the 11, an innocent bystander and all that, just goes head on into the wall and gets clobbered by the 1.
That was the 45, as well as I believe the 38 getting into the 20 as they went through the track. Man, a lot of drivers scattering and trying to make sure they weren't caught up in that. I believe, the 48 was clear. It was a different Lowe's machine scheme that was involved in that. But, Michael, early contact, early racing hard for these drivers on lap 3. Our first caution of the day comes out, and drivers already into the pits, the 1 and the 11 both coming in.
Yep, the 11 car looks to be tad bit terminal, as I think his engine just expired, but luckily these drivers have quick repairs to use, and he looks like he just used one.
It looks like the 1 of Darling gonna get some air and get some new tires and get back out there. But yeah, Brett Murphy having to use that fast repair early as other drivers now coming into the pits. Leading that charge is going to be Alex Fox.
Yep, some cars stay in, some cars stay out. Actually, a lot of cars stay out.
Yeah, it was most of the drivers on the back end of things staying out. It's going to be the front 12, even more than that. But nope, the top 12 staying out, led by Bell. And you see coming in, we got Fox, Horn, Kobe Wells, who had a very interesting day last week, starting on the pits, able to come out and put a better showing for that 45 machine, and a ton of other drivers scattering and waiting to come back out onto the track. But Michael, first couple of laps, it looked quiet for the first lap and a half, and then everyone got up to speed, and then they were making all kinds of moves that were kind of shocking to see. But what were some of your thoughts there early on?
Yeah, very early moves. I'm really surprised, and we could see that the 2 trucks can actually push and get a heck of a lot of speed. We noticed that too, but it's still early to tell, still early to make a prediction, but these drivers just can't waste their tires too early.
Yeah, drivers coming in looking like, based off the times, Fox coming in for 2 tires just for fuel is going to be Steven Pirate, and then the rest of the drivers behind him coming in for 4 tires and also damage repairs. The driver that is still in the pits, surprising to see Connor Horn still getting damage repair, it looks like, for that 67 machine as he finally gets going. Going to be back in 31st position And that's a long ways back trying to get through, and luckily was able to get going before the rest of the field caught up to him.
Yeah, not going green. They just added another lap here. We are gonna get things settled in the right way so we can go green next time by.
Yeah, we're trying to get going as these drivers set to go and ready to get going here. It's going to be Alex Bell leading the charge on the inside. As the drivers are set to go on the backstretch, pace car lights. Are they still on, Michael?
Yeah, the pace lights are on. Christopher Tate was given an EOL penalty, unsure of what that was for. But they're gonna come back around this time and hopefully get the 1 to go signal so these trucks can get back to racing.
As they're getting ready to go, still gonna be just waiting here. But Michael, as we're taking a quick, as they're taking another lap around, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after some side-by-side commercials.
Since the VFW was founded, their mission was really to look out for the veterans community, to make sure that our nation upholds its promise to really care for the service member, the veteran, and his or her family. There are several ways that the VFW fights for veterans today. The top services include disability claims assistance, advocacy on Capitol Hill and with the Department of Veterans Affairs. We also offer scholarship opportunities, and then also volunteerism. For me personally, when I came back from Iraq, my life experience was drastically different from those around me, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars really spoke to me. The reason I would encourage veterans who have served overseas today to join the VFW is because this is your organization. The VFW is for veterans. Every generation, a new generation of leaders steps up in the Veterans of Foreign Wars and fights for the veterans community.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars. No one does more for veterans. For more information on the VFW, go to ahctv.com/sacrifice.
First caution happened on lap number 3. Had quite a long caution laps and pacing laps here. Michael, we were waiting to see to go green. We've only seen a few laps green so far. We're about to go green again. Do you think these drivers have learned to calm down, or you think they're going to still go a little bit crazy here?
Oh, it's still going to be crazy here, trying to get every position they can. I just really hope that they calm down a little bit. Can't win the race if you have a broken truck, so green flag's back out. We're back underway, and Alex Bell gets a heck of a jump.
Alex Bell got a great jump, but here's the thing. You really don't want that here at Super Speedways, is the rest of the field is going to catch up to you with the draft and is going to just make you look like you're stopped. As right now, Alex Bell leading the way, but he's got a cluster of cars behind him ready to make a charge. Led on the outside, that's going to be the 50 of Derek Newsom, and then on the inside you got the 9 of Hoff, and here they go, splitting that 15 machine who had nowhere and no friends at all.
Absolutely. We saw a bit of 2 truck tandems right there between 6 different drivers, and they're side by side for the lead.
Side by side, it's the 9 of Brandon Hoff, who's our points leader at the moment. Derek Newsom on the outside. Here comes Bell getting a shove by the 44 of Lucas Cram. They're going to be getting a huge run on the outside groove, but here comes that second pack. They've got a lot of hungry cars back there.
Absolutely. We note, you note that these drivers have at least one fast repair at their disposal. So, I'm sure they don't want to use it too early, but at the same time, they know that they have that in the bank in case something happens.
Saving it up, waiting for the right time as we're seeing Bell in that middle groove trying to make things work. Also, you're starting to see other drivers shuffling to that third lane as everyone's trying to figure out where to scatter, where's the safest place, the best place to start moving forward. As up front, Bell and Cram now side by side for the lead. Oh, they are just going to stay 3 wide in the middle here. This is a battle here for 3rd place as they're still running 3 wide as they
Caution.
continue on and caution the back. Ooh, that's going to be, believe the...
The
Ooh,
48 and the 71.
yeah,
Quinn Gingrich.
our pole sitter.
And Jordan Clark.
As it's coming out of 4 once again, and it's another spot where you're like, these guys have space. Why are they coming together? The 48 comes up into the 71, and around they go into the infield. Oh, a hard hit for the 48 into the inside wall as well.
And it looks like he's going to have to use his fast repair.
We're going to take a different view of this again, because this was just an odd wreck in general, because 71, I mean, they all started where they were in the middle of 3 and 4. Doesn't make sense on the exit of where they were at all. You see here, they're running through 3 and 4. 71's on the outside, 48's on the inside, and coming out of the corner, 48 just drifts up, and a little bit of net code on where there was a collision, but also Gingrich just never, I think he might have thought he was clear on the way that he came up.
Yeah, it sometimes happens like that. If you get a clear sign from your spotter at any point, you're going to want to move up to the spot so you don't lose it again, and obviously he just wasn't clear.
And now we're going to be seeing if drivers are going to be coming into the pits here this time. Pit road is open, and we're starting to see our front 2. Ooh, playing a little bit there. Coming in the pits, though, leading the way is going to be the 50 of Derek Newsom, as well as Nicole Onsen following suit as well, which is going to leave us 7 cars out there. That total of 6 that are not pitted yet, as Alex Fox pitted on our first caution. He's running 6th at the moment.
Funny to see some of these cars come down pit road. You know, I'm sure these top cars will have a strategy that'll help them in the long run here. But, you know, these cars haven't gone too far with green flag laps to be really worn out. So, probably just saving their tires.
Most likely waiting for the right time to get back out there, as a couple of drivers opting to just drive through the pits and not really having a pit stall, as Steven Parrott going to be coming in and just doing another splash of fuel. Kyle Manger is going to be just coming past and through his pit stall. Looked like he missed his pit stall when he tried to come in on the first lap, so he still needs to come in this time. Also, Christopher Tate, he's going to be just driving through his pits, now in 10th place.
Some gas and goes, which is very strange to see. I'm not sure what the strategy is, but it should be interesting to know here soon.
Yeah, I mean, tire strategy is always something to watch out for, of making sure that you got the best tires for the situation you're in. And it's just interesting to see overall how these drivers have been running so far. As up front, Lucas Cram in the 44 machine, still leading the way, as he was playing cat and mouse there with the 15 of Alex Bell. They were the ones that worked together in that 2-car tandem that we were seeing early on in that restart. And looking quick, able to stay up front. Both these trucks looking like some of the quickest ones out here, or at least able to use teamwork to be up front. Like we've stated before, Lucas Cram, 3 poles this season, so showing speed and consistency for getting the qualifying times. But getting the win so far, Alex Bell in second. Only got 1 win, and that was our second race of the season back at Talladega. We'll see if Alex Bell can get his second win of the season.
Absolutely. And noticing on someone who started in the back and has kind of worked his way towards the front here, that's Clint Spillman in the 88 machine. You see him, 3rd truck on the inside row there. He's been working his way up through the pack.
Rocking some Call of Duty on the back of that truck. So Clint Spillman, someone to watch out for. Someone we're used to seeing up front, usually at the end of races that we've been seeing all these past 4 rounds. Good to see the 88 machine up front and one of those drivers that still haven't pitted this race, and going to be seeing how far they can go. This is the TI 175, as these drivers are getting set up to go green again after caution number 2 being out. We'll see how far they can go. Remember, the middle cutoff point for the competition caution will be on lap 40, the end of lap 40, I believe. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. And drivers that have not pitted, they're going to have to be looking to pit here probably in the next the next 7 to 15 laps is that window that you're probably going to be looking for. But right now, it's going to be Lucas Cram on the outside, getting a fantastic start. Bell on the inside. And they also got Robbie Lyons going to be trying to hold that outside line as they're going to actually almost go 3 wide for second place.
We saw what happened in the last restart when a leader got a great restart. It was not a good thing. He's going to get drafted by like he was putting on the brakes.
Bell going to be getting a nice shove there from Hoff, and they're going to be trying to make some moves. A little bit of shuffling going on as that bump might not have helped as much as he thought. Bell on the inside of the 44 of Cram. Cram all by himself, stuck there looking for space to work with. He gets a huge shove from the 9, but it's going to be Alex Bell to the lead. And look who's there. That's Alex Fox, who we saw pit on the first caution of the day. They're 3 wide back for 5th place, but almost a defensive move there by the 44.
And I thought he got loose. They're 3 wide for the lead on the front straightaway.
They're almost 3 by 3 by 3, and there they go for 4
wide.
4, almost 5 wide there for second place.
Man, they didn't even do this at Talladega. Here they are going 4 wide at Michigan.
Oh boy, the shuffling, the dashing, and who's that way on the inside? I believe that might have been the 69 as, no, I'm wrong on that. But man, some of these drivers putting some very bold moves going all the way down the apron, but it's still Alex Bell leading the pack.
Yep, and we're almost halfway to the stage end here. 44 going to look and make it 3 wide for the lead. You know, he talked about asking people to calm down a bit, that it's still early in the race, and here he is making a 3 wide move, trying to get the lead through the middle, and it looks like he might be successful.
A huge shove by the 24 of Nick Olsen. Olsen there. Olsen is quick. We've seen him win already this season. Back at Daytona for our 3rd race. But man, they are really racing pretty hard here. Clint Spillman now up to 4th place, as now they're 3 wide for 6th place now.
And it's going to be like that. This track is so wide that you can put your truck anywhere except the apron. That's another thing we forgot to cover. Ordinarily, you would see the apron being used if you could get a good draft on it, but in this race, you cannot. They are treating the apron as just like any other super speedway, and you are not allowed to advance your position below that white line.
Keeping all super speedway rules here for the drivers as they're still 3 by 3, and this is racing action here. That's 4 wide for 10th place as they continue on. Wild to see as they are all scattering around, trying to figure out where is the best place to start moving forward. The 20 machine that we were talking about being pinched, he's all the way back in 15th, still in the middle of all this chaos.
Chaos is right. Look at this, 3-2 wide here. These trucks are all over, and it's gonna, this makes some interesting racing. Almost potentially 3 wide. Nope, they settle it to 2. The 44 has got to watch the outside lane. Will get a run. Oh, there they go. Oh my goodness.
That's Newsom. We were on board. We saw him go take off to the moon for the 50 machine, as he'll now have to take a teleport in tow to pit road. Hopefully he's got his fast repair clicked. But man, we're going to take a Flatout Racing Network replay on that one. I was just about to go into a blimp view so we could see the chaos from above as they were just scattered everywhere. But you're going to see here the 50 machine just having nowhere to go on the inside and just gets a good bump. I believe, yep, you got a clip there by the 52 and away he goes up to the sky.
You talk about a rocket launch. We didn't even get a 10-second countdown for that one.
Wild to see is we're going to take a different look here.
The 9 machine was also involved in that. 9 machine with heavy front end damage and smoke coming out of the vehicle.
That was such a violent hit. Like I said, I was about to switch to a blimp view. Here it is. It just gets pinched up into the 9 and away the 50 goes. Everyone else able to scatter. Ooh, there was heavy contact for that pink and white machine. But yeah, Hoff. Engine damage for the 9. He'll have to come in, use fast repair to get back out there and going. But man, Michael, it was kind of foreseen that was going to happen just based on how aggressive everyone's been running.
Yeah. It's It's been absolutely crazy so far. The 9 car just coming straight into pit road, passing everybody, just trying to get to his pit stall before that engine blows. He does not want to have to he does not want to have to tow.
Yeah, the 50 machine of Newsom did have to tow. Right now, 1 lap down and still waiting to get repairs done is the 50 machine, as everyone came into the pits this time. The only driver that did not is going to be Nick Olson in the 24 machine that is going to still be out, as he last time he was in took 4 tires and fuel, so it should be good to the end. For the rest of these drivers, I mean, good to that 40 lap marker. The rest of these drivers feel like with this pit stop, they should be good to the end, but tires just seem to be so important if you're going to be making these bold moves that we've been seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be crazy. I cannot wait to see what the rest is going to be. These cars pit on lap 20, so that's going to be interesting to see how far if these guys can make it all the way to the end of the stage. But if they keep getting cautions like this, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, and we talked about playoffs are coming. We just hit the halfway marker of the regular season, setting up for playoffs. It's going to be a 4-race playoff shootout for these drivers. The drivers that are in the top 10 that are looking good so far. Starting off with Brandon Hoff, Connor Horn, Lucas Cram, Gavin Jones, and Alex Bell, your top 5 there. They're looking very good to be making it in just based on where their points are out, as well as Robbie Lyons and Lucas Strayer. And then you drop down a little bit to 9th and 10th, where you've got Brady Floyd and Clinton Spillman. That's 9th and 10th in points. And then you've got below them Kyle Dagger, as well as Colby Wells. They're very close to one another. Within 9 to 10 points is 9th to 11th. 9th to 12th, in points. So they're going to be shuffling back and forth, as this is the only non-Talladega and Daytona race of the season. So everyone that feels most comfortable here at Michigan, this is your race really to show it.
Absolutely. Doubled up side by side. They're going to be going back racing this time with 19 laps to go in the stage.
Right now, drivers that are up front that are looking for a possible win that would help them so much. I mean, Manger in the 5 machine, I mean, he's going to be thinking about, this is my race, running in 3rd place. If he can get a win here, this would help him drastically, as he is not in the top 10 of points, but he believe he is in the top 20. So he would put him in that spot of possibly winning his way in to the playoffs.
Absolutely. That's what it's going to take for some of these drivers. You never know who's going to win. That's the key thing. You know, just because you dominate a race doesn't mean you're going to win. You've seen that throughout many races in history. So with the way these super speedways are, including for these trucks that are flat out, you could see someone starting in last win this race. So winning is key to make sure you're locked into the chase.
Nick Olson going to be leading the way on the outside. That's where we've seen the last 2 restarts be for these drivers. That 24 machine getting a great start. Now he's going to be having the 5 and the 44 to watch out for, as they're going to be getting a hard charge here, as well as Fox. That 9 of Hoff, who we saw have to race into pit road to get his engine fixed. It's fixed. He's back out there and looking like he is someone to watch out for, but he's already used his fast repair. This 9 machine cannot be involved in another wreck, or his race could be done.
For those of you wondering why the 9 machine is up where he's at after getting involved in the wreck, the way iRacing is, when a caution is thrown, you're locked into your spot no matter where it is. So he was able to race back up to where his spot was, came down pit road, and with the fast repair was able to get everything done and changed, and still get out in a good spot.
As they're now 3 wide for 2nd place, Nick Olson's going to be stuck on the outside looking for a little bit of help so he can get his momentum going, but still no one there. Clint Spillman might be dropping up, but he's going to actually blink for a second. That's a little nerve-wracking for those drivers running up front. As in the lead, it's going to be Alex Fox, Manger, and Cram all battling here, trying to figure out who's going to be leading this thing. As we're on lap 23, 66 laps go to the end of this race. But Michael, we're inching closer and closer. We're 16 laps away from competition caution.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm afraid these drivers are going to have another caution coming soon. As you see, we had the outside lane work for just a little bit, but now, as I just heard the 44 say, he is going to be pushing that 27, maybe attempting to try to push him away from this pack, if that's even possible. These trucks have got to watch out for their temperatures, though.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest things to watch out for with all the pushing and shoving going on. If you stay on someone's back bumper for at least a lap and a half to 2 laps, you got to watch your temps. You might have to get out of the lane and try to cool off your temperature so you don't blow up in the middle of a field, which could cause complete carnage. As up front running well, drivers that are... Ooh.
That 5 car just barely fit his truck right in between the 9 and the 24.
And Cram now going to be throwing his car onto the inside. Here comes Hoff in the middle. Now he's going to be thinking about pushing the 44 as they're all now 2 by 2 all the way through our top 10.
It's a lot of give and take here. You know, these drivers are not just on the gas all the time. They're having to let out, maybe half throttle it, maybe drag the brake a little bit so they don't run into the car in front of them. The suck up on these cars are great, and when you get that run and you have nowhere to go, you can't just run into the back of somebody. You have to let off and make sure that you don't wreck them.
Yeah, watching Hoff as he'll be making the pass here on Cram. Other drivers that have been slowly moving their way forward. This 52 machine, he's been doing a pretty good job moving himself forward as, the 5 getting a little squirrely after getting into the 44 and bumping him to the lead.
Yeah, he put his truck up again where there wasn't really a hole, and they made a hole, and here he is now in second
my
place.
Goodness, does it again. Kyle Menger might be one of the luckiest or gutsiest drivers so far, as he's cut off, it seems like, the 9 a couple of times. That time it was the 27 to Fox. Here he is leading the pack, as now you got Lucas Cram throwing him to the outside. Who's going to work with his 5 now? I mean, how many times we've seen him just come up in the middle of someone. I mean, you're going to be thinking about that later on in this race. There's a little bit of shuffling going on. I believe that's the 12 machine who's getting a little bit loose there. That's Gavin Jones in our top 10 of points, and right now running 8th place in currently this race.
We have a front pack here. I'm not sure how many cars are in this pack. If I can look real quick, it looks
There's a total of 14 in this pack.
Yep, 14 cars.
Oh, they're starting to get shuffled. Oh, coming back up. No, up into the wall, the 52, the 20. Oh, my goodness. That was Robbie Lyons who had that issue that got shuffled on the apron and had nowhere to go, could not slow down, and the rest of the field paid for it. This is going to be bringing out caution number 4 of the day, and you'll see here, Hoff's going to be coming out with a momentum into the corner and just bounce that 97 up into the apron, and up he goes. Oh, you hate to see that for the 52 and the 20 there. Nowhere to go for them. I mean, Michael, we're starting to see drivers think that they're clear, and they're obviously not. And that's one of the things that's kind of getting concerning for these drivers, is the aggression level's already so high, and the fact that the moves that are being put down, we're not even at the halfway marker yet on when we're used to seeing drivers get into this type of mode of just throwing your car wherever you want to place it. This is kind of shocking to see.
Absolutely. And from what I heard here, the first bit of incident here was about netcode, because they had wasn't really much contact. It was just close racing, and this game with different internet connections, there tends to always be a little bit of netcode somewhere.
Yeah, we've seen it already here 2 times. Netcode has shown itself, and it's a little bit of netcode, but also a little bit of momentum on the cars. I think even if there wasn't that netcode in a way, just based on the way that Hoff was driving that 9 car down into the 97, contact was going to be made, netcode or not.
Yeah, it's just momentum and close racing.
As Connor Horn, you see there, a driver that was on pit road extensive long time the first time he was in the pits. Right now, running. Now, once he comes out of pits, we'll see where he comes out. But good to see the 67 machine still running well and trying to get back out there. A driver that is just got on to the lead lap here due to free pass. The 50 machine of Derek Newsom, who we saw take a rocket ship up into the moon. He's now back on the lead lap, giving us 31 drivers on the lead lap to work with here, Michael.
Well, he had a very good re-entry, and now here he is back on the lead lap and ready to try to take the win away from somebody if he could stay out of trouble.
Drivers that are still taking quite a long time on pit road. That's going to be right there coming out of his pit stall. The one of Jared Darling. Don't believe he's used his fast repair yet. He was involved in that first caution. So the one machine still trying to get repairs done, get out there every single time there's a caution, try to get the most out of it.
Absolutely.
Well, Michael, this is the Superspeedway series here with the SARG guys, and we're halfway through the regular season. What would your mentality be coming into a racetrack that's going to be so different from everywhere else you've been? Do you really take this race and just be like, I hope I get a top 15 or a top 10 finish and get back to running well at the other courses that we're going to be used to running throughout the rest of the season?
Well, it's definitely a unique track. You want to stay out of trouble here. A mentality would be to definitely that you want to try to at least win, but it's to stay out of trouble first and get up there in the end when it counts. But with this track being different from the others that we're going to, we're going to old Daytona, Legacy Daytona, which is before the repave, so that is going to be a race in on itself. I've raced at that track, and it's really, really bumpy. So there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot of pushing at that track. It's going to be just more of momentum trying to make passes. And, that's going to be something interesting to watch in and of itself, because without being able to lock bumpers and making rational moves like you see them racing here, it's just going to be something worth watching.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how these upcoming races go, just because of how different. It's the difference between new and legacy racetracks is so crazy how different they really are. The Legacy Daytona is so bumpy compared to what we run now in current repaved version. It's a handful to run, even though it's super speedway racing and you're pack racing. Pace triples off. Nick Olson leading the way here as the 5 machine running on the outside. Nick Olson decided to switch it up. He's been on the outside here the last couple of times. Tries the inside lane. He's going to have Lucas Cram with him in the 44. And you're going to see these drivers trying to work together and get going as they continue to just stay on the inside. And that time around, you saw Nick Olson not get a huge jump, lingered back a little bit. So this time he's going to get a good bump, not going to be absolutely freight trained, but really where all the action is back around 10th place. Those drivers are all scattered up, trying to figure out where they're going to run as they're all 2-3 wide already.
Getting back up to speed. This is going to be interesting to see where it goes. Clint Spillman with the run, going to settle in 5th place right now. They're left the 5 machine on the outside, pretty much out to dry here. We're going to see what happens as they continue going down.
That was Hoff that decided to go through the middle there, like we've already documented, has already used the fast repair. If he gets involved in another terminal wreck for that 9 machine, it is going to be disastrous for him and could be the end of his day, as we're not even at the halfway marker. These drivers are running until lap 40. Then we'll have our middle caution for the drivers, our stage caution, and our top 10 get points. Oh. They're 3 wide back here, almost 4 wide for 8th place. Moving back up, Lucas Cram.
4 wide, 3 wide. They're just trying not to get loose here as they're heading down the back straightaway. That's another possibility too. If you just don't really angle your truck right, there's a good chance you could just get loose. You saw the 67 with an abrupt move to the inside of the racetrack. Connor Horn is able to pick up a spot.
Yeah, well, he was kind of nervous. He wasn't sure if Ben McDonald was going to get out of the way, but Connor Horn, we've seen him. He's got a very fast machine. Is now caught up to this lead pack. Another fast machine to watch out for, Christopher Tate. We talked about gotten EOL earlier for that 4 machine. He's worked his way up to 5th place. And I think at this point, all these drivers are thinking about race to lap 40, get in the top 10, get those points, and hope for the best as the 4 machine goes 3 wide here. This is for 3rd place.
Absolutely, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to see so many different moves being made here.
Continuing to battle on. It's almost about to be 3 wide again as they're now 3 wide for the lead. No, that's for 2nd place. That's going to be Nick Olson moving on. That's Lucas Cram stuck in the middle, and the 5 on the outside as they're still shuffling along. 3 wide still, and it's only getting crazier and crazier.
Absolutely. I only realized I was on not live, so that was a mistake on my part. Look at Christopher Tate trying to make a move to the inside really hard. It hardly has any help, and you see him not making any progress.
Luke's Cramp going to be holding that middle lane, trying to get some help from the 9 machine. It's doing great, but that outside line, there's more cars lined up, making the draft useful. But this track, it's a lot more of a narrower corner, which means that you've got to worry about your tires on your entry, how much throttle you're putting into your car, so you have enough tires to work with. Nick Olson has been out there for 23 laps. Everyone else is pitted either for fuel, 2 tires for some, 4 tires for others. But right now, the 24 machine on the outside with the oldest tires is really making it work, which is surprising to see.
Oh, and they're going
Oh no, Kevin Spillman gets out into the wall out of shape as they're still scattering around him. Caution number 5.
This might be the end of the stage. I don't know if these drivers might be able to get it back around for a 2-lap shootout. It's possible. They're talking about possibly a 2-lap restart here. Let's take a look and see what happened to Clint Spillman in the 88 machine as he just got loose off the corner, it looked like.
Contact with the 40 machine of Muma there. And Spillman, after that contact, could not save or correct that 88 machine, went up into the wall. Surprisingly, only driver involved.
I think he got loose. There's a good chance he might have gotten loose off the corner because the way his car just kind of abruptly turned to the inside. It's a good chance. We're going to ride on board with him real quick, or at least I am, yeah. Oh, I see what happened. You know when the banking stops and you're on, you transition from the turn to the straightaway?
Yep.
And your car just suddenly kind of makes an abrupt right or left, depending on how you're holding your steering wheel. That's kind of what happened, and that's what got him into the 40 car, and then he just kind of overcorrected back up into the wall.
We're going to take an onboard just right along here. We're with Spillman here in the 88. Just like Michael just described, the transition from the corner. Oh, just came in, and there's the bump, and away he goes for Clint Spillman in the 88. Luckily did not blow up the engine, but still you're going to have to keep our eyes out of any other damage that will happen, as Michael, you're going to probably keep on keeping an eye and ear out on what the admins are thinking about doing here, as the rest of the field actually going to be about half the field coming into the pits here, as getting ready for that halfway marker for these drivers as we're inching closer and closer there. We've already seen the aggression level really never go from 0 up to 11. We kind of started at the maximum level and really haven't let off since the start of the green.
Absolutely.
As up front, Nick Olson is going to be still leading this way, has not pitted. This is back, I believe, caution number 3. But as we're waiting for these drivers to get set up and getting ready to go, we're going to take another quick side-by-side. And when we come back, we're going to be going green here, probably with about 49 laps to go.
Since the VFW was founded, their mission was really to look out for the veterans community, to make sure that our nation upholds its promise to really care for the service member, the veteran, and his or her family. There are several ways that the VFW fights for veterans today. The top services include disability claims assistance, advocacy on Capitol Hill and with the Department of Veterans Affairs. We also offer scholarship opportunities, and then also volunteerism. For me personally, when I came back from Iraq, my life experience was drastically different from those around me, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars really spoke to me. The reason I would encourage veterans who have served overseas today to join the VFW is because this is your organization. The VFW is for veterans. Every generation, a new generation of leaders steps up in the Veterans of Foreign Wars and fights for the veterans community.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars. No one does more for veterans. For more information on the VFW, go to ahctv.com/sacrifice.
Most everyone involved in sim racing always wants that edge or even make the experience a little bit better, or in this case, a little bit more in-depth. Enter iRacing iFlag. iFlag is a simulation signal box with software designed by Peter Vostro. When you are behind the wheel in iRacing, your eyes are looking down the track or maybe even in the rear or side view mirrors. You may not notice or even hear when the caution comes out, when your car is damaged, or if you get...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the SARG Superspeedway Series. And today we're at Michigan for round number 5 of the TI Racing 175 here at Michigan. Lucas Cram on older tires going to be trying to stay in front and lead this way as we're trying to get set up and ready to go. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout to figure out before we get to the competition caution of the end of stage 1 on the end of lap 40. These drivers going to be running for 2 laps here. Nick Olsen, he's on the much older tires than the rest of the field. You also got Lucas Cram on the outside trying to make that 44 work, but we've also seen the 9 machine of Brandon Hoff, our points leader, pulling really some very bold moves, and we'll see if anyone else wants to. Connor Horn stuffs that 67 where really it shouldn't have gone.
Yeah, here he goes to the inside. The 5 car bounces off the 9 car. It looked like on the apron. He's got to get back up. Cannot pass below it. The 44 leads this is the last lap, the metaphoric white flag of the stage here, as they're 3 wide for the lead heading into turns 1 and 2.
And there's going to be 3 by 3 as they continue to be staying side by side here on the inside. It's still going to be the 44 and the 24 leading the charge. But don't look now on that complete outside. That's going to be the 9 who's going to be shuffling in and out, trying to figure out where they would have placed themselves. Really not sure where they feel the most comfortable. But right now, Lucas Cram leading, trying to get the win for these stage win points. It's going to be huge for him right now in 3rd in points. As they come around the corner, we're going to see only the top 10 get points here as they're all 3-4 wide back there.
Caution flag is out to end the stage. Lucas Cram has got the stage caution. He wins the stage. And if there's a way that we could pull him into here to talk to him, we definitely will.
Oh my goodness. Lucas Cram, 44 machine, gets it done here for the stage win, but that doesn't mean the race is over. There's a lot of racing still to be made here as Nick Olsen started on that restart on the pole on 1st place, dropped all the way back to 6th place. A driver I am most shocked by, though, is the 50 machine of Derek Newsom. We saw him take off like a rocket ship, finishes 10th, able to get points here today. A shocking finishing result for that 50 machine. Also for the 1 of Jared Darling, who we saw involved in the first caution of the day. He's gotten that thing repaired, up in 9th place, able to get some points here.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to see if I can pull Lucas up here and let's talk to him. Stage winner. Second here. Oh, maybe I can't.
As we're trying to and see if we can. If we can't, that is totally fine. Lucas, it's Sam and Michael up in the booth. You got that stage win. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty wild there for sure. Running this off race here at Michigan's a whole different animal, and you got to work stuff runs a lot different than obviously Talladega and Daytona. So I was able to do that there, and I felt bad. I hope I didn't cause anybody to get in a huge checkup, cause anybody getting the fence there at all. But that was a lot of fun for sure.
I know it's going to be... Yeah, keep on going, Michael.
A lot of moves had to be made here. What's different from Daytona and Talladega here? Are you worried about tires at all, or are the tires kind of like, you can run on old tires and still be competitive?
Yeah, the tires aren't too bad. Actually, I just pitted here. My left front's still 97, and the outside of it's at 100%. So I took right side tires there when I came in for fuel into that first run on the stage there. So I don't think tires are that important. The main thing is just the progressive banking here in Michigan. Running that inside lane, it's a lot flatter than the second lane and above. So the second lane will pinch you down to that bottom lane, and you can really just kind of get tight. And you don't push up, but you just scrub a lot of speed off because you're having to put one wheel into it. So it's all about just momentum and trying to keep the middle lane essentially. But at the same time, you also don't want to get taken through wide top. So it's yeah, definitely a lot going on for sure.
Yeah, Lucas, it's been a great run so far for you. Got the stage win here today. Good luck, and hopefully you can get this thing won here with the rest of these laps left.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
as we're getting ready to go again. I mean, Michael, a huge really relief for some of these drivers to finally get to the end of that first stage. Now it's all about running to the end, getting to lap 88 with your car still able to run. And for those that still have a fast repair, maybe you can be a little bit more aggressive here, but really, I mean, I think a lot of these drivers are waiting for that final about 15 laps to go and then finally starting to push their way forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's you don't want to waste too much. I see Clint Spillman up here in that 88 machine. He's got some rear end damage to that 88 machine. So I wonder if that's really going to affect his aero at all. But he's going to restart on the outside. I'm almost surprised he didn't use a fast repair unless he's already used one.
No, I'd imagine that. I mean, you really, if you still are able to run up front, don't want to use your fast repair just yet. There's still a lot of racing to go on. The only reason you really should be using your fast repair is if you're down on power or if your car cannot run at all because you've blown up your engine. Those are the only two reasons you should really have to use your fast repair. Otherwise, manually repair your car, get out there, and try to wait until those final about 20 laps, then use your fast repair so you've got the best car ready for the end. But right now, it's going to be that 52 and the 88 leading the way. I think Spillman actually does have the lead here and will be giving us the call as the pace truck pulls off. As we're getting ready to go green here to the end, Michael. No more stages. It's time to figure out who's going to get the win here at the TI Racing 175 here at Michigan.
Stephen Gale gets a great run and great push from behind. He's going to take the lead. Like I said, I think that the aero damage is already affecting that 88 as it looks like he's a bit holding up the outside lane, and it's now going to get pushed up to the third.
Pushed up even further as that's Christopher Tate going to be pushing him up in the 4 machine as we now drop him front. Gale still leading the way. He did not pit under that pit road. First car to pit and came out. That's going to be the 44 of Lucas Cram. You're already seeing the difference, as well as Christopher Tate on the outside, all by his lonesome. That 4 car really powering through and able to show there is some pace in that 4 machine.
Absolutely, but no help on the outside lane, even with the progressive banking like we heard Lucas talk about. Just without help, your truck just cannot go forward.
Needs just a little bit more help from the draft, as well as maybe a bump from someone. Michael, I don't think if you've noticed it just yet, but it looks like about half the track still in the clouds. Our turn 3 and 4, though, starting to see some daylight. The sun's starting to creep out over there. So these track temps could be wavering for these drivers. A little bit different from what they were dealing with earlier on in the race.
Yeah, that's true. And that can really affect how slick the racetrack is. In the sun, it could be a little slicker, but in the shade, it could be a little more grippier. You know, it's cool temperatures out there, so it's only, I really can't even tell you how much it's actually affecting these race cars.
Yeah, right now the track temp is at 84, so it's gone up just by 1 tick. And outside temp still 65, so we'll see if that changes at all for these drivers. As we still, it looks like our top 5 kind of trying to stay single file, everyone else behind. They're starting to make some moves as leading that second group is actually going to be, I believe, the 12 machine of Gavin Jones. Gavin Jones, 6th place, trying to move this group along as they're still staying side by side, but our top 5 still single filed up. And Michael, this is kind of shocking to see, as for that first stage, it was just carnage of 2, 3, 4 wide at times. Now everyone's kind of single filing out and realizing, hey, let's take this thing a little bit slower and really race methodically here for these final couple of laps.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. They still got at least one more pit stop to make. They cannot make it to the end of the race here. This stage is actually 8 laps longer than the first stage. So that's going to be a little interesting factor and a tidbit too on if these cars can make it. So we could see potentially 2 pit stops before the end of this race.
Yeah, Nick Olson, we were kind of trying to figure out if he was going to be that control car to see how far our driver can go. But it was kind of flawed to see just because of how many cautions we had. That 24 machine was able to stay out there and be competitive up front after being out for about 24 laps. That's something to keep in mind for these drivers. But for 41 laps still to go in this race, like we've stated, still have to come to the pits, probably around lap 20 to 25, or just splitting this thing in half. That's the way most of these drivers are probably going to be thinking. And really, you cannot come into the pits by yourself. You have to come in with other drivers.
So we're talking probably about 60 to 65 is when we'll see these drivers on pit road, if we don't get a caution.
That
Now
is the key thing.
They're starting to race it up now. The 27 goes for the lead, but nobody goes with them. And now the 44 is going to get pushed in the middle lane as the 15 going to the outside.
Alex Bell on that outside lane, our winner of Talladega. He's going to now be pinched up and having to push the 44 down the backstretch, as well as Olsen and the rest of the crew that are following the 5 is going to be dropping down, possibly helping here of Alex Fox. Fox, we've seen be quick at Daytona and at Talladega, has not gotten a win, has gotten at least one pole as Bell gets shoved up just a little bit there by the 44 machine. Now that it's going to be 3 wide, racing hard, 3 wide for second place, as well for going to be back in 5th place.
These drivers are approaching a lapped machine. I figured they would have caught him by now, but he looks to be up to speed. That's Brett Murphy in the 11 machine.
Brett Murphy, who brought out our first caution of the day, running slow, goes low, getting out of the way for our lead lap cars. I was wondering why our leaders got really racy. Yes, we were starting to see the 15 as well as the 5 getting a little bit anxious, but also Connor Horn is in 4th place. That 67 machine has really been putting his nose where it really shouldn't be and making it stick. And I'm going to be not surprised if Connor Horn tries to get himself up front, leading this pack here in any of the couple of laps we're at right now.
Roughly 10 laps away from what could potentially be pit stops, as the 44 Lucas Cram still leading. I believe right now he could have the most bonus points. We got to issue in the back.
Oh no! Heavy contact as that's going to be coming up onto the track. That's going to be Jones, Gavin Jones. No yellow out yet, and there it is. More contact being made. That's going to be that's going to be Wells involved. Oh my goodness. As it all started with the 12 machine, engine blown for the 12, so we'll take a quick FRN replay of what exactly happened here. As they were racing hard, kind of got shuffled out of line on the exit here was the 12. Car got into the wall, and boom, Bell got into the 12. Jones got into the 27, coming back up into the track. Drivers slamming on their brakes, trying to not make contact. And oh, there's the 30 cars. Well, the 48 making contact. The 30 really heavy contact.
That was the 45 that made contact with the 12.
Excuse me. The 30 and the 45 both huge contacts there, though. The 30 blowing up his engine after making contact with Jones. And, you hate to see that, as they were running so clean up front, and just getting into the wall is what caused all that shuffling.
Well, this actually isn't a good caution flag for these drivers, because this is not in the window that they can make it on fuel. There's one thing we do got to mention too. We were told at the beginning of this race these trucks are down 5 horsepower than normal, so that could also potentially lead to a little better fuel mileage.
Yeah, fuel mileage. I mean, I think that's also why we were seeing Nick Olsen able to really stay out there. Also why, when we were talking with Lucas Cram during our interview after he won the stage, about how the tires really didn't drop off that much due to the fact that there's not that much horsepower. You're not digging into the ground with so much speed. You're able to save your tires a little bit more because of how much slower you're going into these corners, and able to save your tires that way. So maybe these drivers can go a little bit longer, but Lucas Cram going to be the one car staying out on track. Rest of the field comes in, and the first car out is going to be the 5 of Kyle Menger.
I believe Gavin Jones is officially done. He has said that he believes he is out of his fast repair. So with that accident, that he could bring that car back behind the wall.
Gavin Jones still trying to get repairs done. Could be our first car out of the race. Also, we'll have to check and see if the 30 car might be done as well, as I know he blew his engine. He's still on pit road trying to get manual repairs done. Christopher Tate looks like he was involved. I think he might have been the driver that got into the wall and got rear-ended there by Jones initially. So we'll have to keep our eyes out and see how that goes. But up front, Lucas Cram of the 44 machine doing a fabulous job. He won the stage, still alive up front. This truck looks quick.
Absolutely. And this is going to be interesting. We'll see if they're coming to the one to go this time by or not. Looks like they are, as Lucas is going to choose the inside lane for this restart.
Now, Michael, I brought up how the playoffs work in a way for these drivers, about how the top 10, you automatically point your way in, and then there's 2 spots open for 11th through 20th in points if you have wins, and whoever has the most wins there. With that rule set in the way that it is, I know you're trying to aim for getting into the top 10, but if you're 11th and 12th in points, you're kind of crossing your fingers that no one else gets wins at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Superspeedway racing, a lot of skill, a lot of luck also involved. Michael, what's some of the craziest wrecks that you've had to drive through? I mean, I know that some of these drivers have to go through going through these speedways, but what are some of your craziest wrecks you've had to drive yourself through?
One time it was the B Fixed race at Talladega. I was driving, and I was about in the middle of 3 wide, and somebody wrecked in front of me. They overcorrected. I thought I was done, but he just missed me, hit the wall, and flipped over my car down below the apron. And I mean, I needed new pants after that, because that was just a scary, crazy wreck.
Surviving flips are probably the wildest things when they flip over you, but that's just a couple more stories for us to talk about later on in the season. As pace truck is off, Lucas Cram getting ready to go. We've got the 44 and the 5. Cram takes off immediately. The 24 of Nick Olson really did not stick with them as well as I thought they wanted to. They are still running hard. Ben McDonald in that bright pink and white, dropping it down low. 3rd car in line on the inside. They're going to be trying to get hooked up and ready to go as they're running on the inside lane. Nick Olson now going to dip into the high side, getting a push by the 5 as they're spinning behind him. That's going to be the 2. I believe also the 8. Oh no, there they go behind.
Yep, that's a big wreck too. When it starts at the beginning of the field, in the front of the field like that, that's unfortunate.
MoMA's involved, but yeah, I believe that started with the 2 and the 8 making contact around 6th place, and really nowhere else to go for all the other drivers involved. As we see, they're going to be coming out of turn number 2, and the 2 comes up into the 8, and they scatter around them. Oh, the 40 was also involved. I think Connor Horn was. Oh, the 52 got clipped. Oh, man. Everyone, some fashion, I believe, was involved in that wreck. We'll take a different type of a look on what exactly happened to these drivers. I mean, Michael, from your point of view with this wreck, I mean, it just looked like 2 cars going for the same real estate.
Yep, and unfortunately, that it's just how it works here. When you guys think you're clear, go for the same real estate, and next thing you know, you're spinning around. I believe the 81 is having some technical issues. Jeremy Jones, and it might put him out of this race.
As we're looking to see if Jeremy Jones can get his issues figured out. As looking at other cars that were involved in that one, that were some of our contenders that already used fast repairs. When we saw the 52, he was clipped. It didn't look like he hit the outside wall, as well as the 9 got a little bit of a piece of the action. So expecting a lot of drivers to come into the pits, get repairs done, and hope that their car's still running at full power, because if you're down power, this is going to be very difficult to get a good solid run unless another big one happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And with cars being down on power and out, that's going to lower the amount of cars in the pack. So hopefully we'll see some good clean racing. These drivers need it. Now, this caution might not again be right in their fuel window to make it to the end of this race.
I'm just looking now at doing quick math on this. I think they could possibly make it only if they stay out up front and they don't pit. I think that's what Lucas Cram is banking on, is a lot of caution so he can save fuel and make it to the end and still stay up front.
Well, this time they're coming to 30 laps to go, and that's 10 laps more than these cars can run. But once again, with the 5 horsepower down difference, we don't know exactly how far these drivers can go.
Yeah, I mean, full power. These drivers should be going, like I said, about 25. Might be pushing it now out to 30. With all these cautions that are coming out, maybe you could push to 35, 38.
I don't
Which with
necessarily
Cram, who's already been out there, I mean, he's going to be probably about 8 laps short because he's already been out there for about 15 laps, but he's been saving fuel since the stage. I mean, since that first caution, since the stage 1 was over. And he's just been continuously just trying to save fuel. There is a chance that Lucas Cram could be just saving, but also I think track position too important for this 44 machine.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we'll see these cars come down pit road the next time that there's a caution, if it's not right away.
As driving through that field right there, that was going to be Brett Murphy. Believe trying to get his lap back. So Brett Murphy going to be just driving through as quick as possible in that 11, and that was who it was that was going through our leaders as they're getting stacked up and ready to go.
There's a point of interest here. I can see this setup that these drivers are running tonight is a modified setup from Daytona. So maybe that's why they're down 5 horsepower, because it's basically a Daytona setup that they're running here.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, why they're able to really utilize the draft as well as they are. But yeah, that's different using a Daytona setup here.
I mean, it's working.
Yeah, I mean, usually you modify you take an Auto Club and a Daytona and you merge it in some way of trying to equal it out. Just because Michigan's like right dead center on how those racetracks really feel and how much space there is. But the drivers are stacked up, ready to go. Ben McDonald, we haven't seen the 16 car up in the top 5 very much, but running second. It's going to be leading that outside lane. We'll see if he can try to make a push here on the 44 of Lucas Cram, who, waits. This is a much later start for the rest of the field. We'll see how much that affects the rest of the field right now as Darling gets shoved up, as he'll be trying to battle 3 wide back for 6th place.
But up front, it stacked them up pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll see if these cars can make it. There's 30 laps to go, and here comes the 24 to the inside. But Clint Spillman going to go to the outside to help the 44.
That's the thing. Nick Olson's been trying to find someone to help him, and it looks like it's going to be the 5 of Manger, going to be that driver to try to push the 24 to the lead. A huge shove going into turn number 3, and it's going to shove the 24 up front and almost push the 5 up to the 2nd place fully, as he's not cleared just yet. But that outside line, they are not set up and ready to go, but those are 3 very quick cars. The 44, the 88, and the 67. The only issue, the 88, I believe, might still have a little bit of damage. No, I think he might have gotten that repaired. And I know for the fact that the 67 had a little bit of damage from that last accident.
Yeah, it seems like the 88's a little afraid to push, and I mean, I don't blame him, because with the way and how sporadic these trucks move around, you know, you don't want to push somebody at the wrong time and spin them out. So I don't necessarily blame him for not wanting to push, but to get that line moving, you're going to have to stay real tight. As you see the 5 car come up to try to side draft, that's going to try to stop the momentum of the 44.
And it's really starting to stuff them now, as see the 44 car driving up and trying to get right on the back bumper of the 24 machine, just not able to just yet, as they're really trying to pull away from the rest of the field. It stays 2x2 behind them.
24 and the 44 side by side, like you said. Clint Spillman on the outside lane, and the number 5 machine of Kyle Manger in the down low, and the 44 is going to take.
Ooh, the 50's coming, hugging that yellow line. It looks like the Newsom's on rails as he completely dug it in deep. And now he's going to be hugging that white line. He cannot advance his position, as he has to be careful with the car crossing over lanes. Oh my goodness, Alex Bell's back up here, the 15 machine. And don't look now, here comes others, as Wells is up here. A lot of the drivers have been lingering back in the backpack. They're figuring out it is time to go now.
Quinn.
Oh, contact! Wells! And it goes around in front of the 50 as well as the 15 and others. Darling tries to get by. And Wells goes straight to the inside. Caution number 9 for these drivers.
And that's going to be a big thing. Here we're going to take a look and see at what happened. It just, the 45 side by, it was just some contact there. Contact made. I'm not sure if the netcode, definitely looked like netcode. And the 45 car is just an unfortunate bystander.
Yeah, nowhere to go with that one, and it's terrible to see for those drivers that were running so close. I mean, that was the 26 and the 45 that make the contact here, as they're 3 wide in front of Wells, and then they just scatter from there.
I believe this is our 6th caution of the night.
That is actually caution number 9 of the night.
Oh,
Not 8.
I was
8,
close.
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 cautions on track that have been brought out, and then we have the stage caution that came out back on lap 40. So it's been hard racing for these drivers, and they continue to race hard.
I mean, here comes everybody down pit road.
This is the window. They can make it from here.
Especially if they know that they're going to get more caution flags.
Yeah, as the driver is going to be cycling through, a driver did stay out. That's the 71 of Jordan Clark, who we saw bring out, I believe that was caution number 2 of today's race. But as these drivers are starting to get ready and getting their cars set up, we'll see who comes out first. That's going to be Lucas Cram, Nick Olson, and as the rest of the drivers get on through, we're going to do our last caution of the day. Like, this should be the last pit stop for these drivers. We'll take our last caution and pit our last commercial break as we go start our last caution.
Since the VFW was founded, their mission was really to look out for the veterans community, to make sure that our nation upholds its promise to really care for the service member, the veteran, and his or her family. There are several ways that the VFW fights for veterans today. The top services include disability claims assistance, advocacy on Capitol Hill and with the Department of Veterans Affairs. We also offer scholarship opportunities, and then also volunteerism. For me personally, when I came back from Iraq, my life experience was drastically different from those around me, and the veterans of foreign wars really spoke to me. The reason I would encourage veterans who have served overseas today to join the VFW is because this is your organization. The VFW is for veterans. Every generation, a new generation of leaders steps up in the veterans of foreign wars and fights for the veterans community.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars. No one does more for veterans. For more information on the VFW, go to ahctv.com/sacrifice.
Most everyone involved in sim racing always wants that edge or even make the experience a little bit better, or in this case, a little bit more in depth. Enter iRacing iFlag. iFlag is a simulation signal box with software designed by Peter Vostro. When you are behind the wheel in iRacing, your eyes are looking down the track or maybe even in the rear or side view mirrors. You may not notice or even hear when the caution comes out, when your car is damaged, or if you get black flagged, or even notice the car beside you. Yes, iFlag will point out the sides and tell you where that car is. It just makes iRacing more real and can help you become a better driver. We also offer iRacing iFlag Digital Pit Box. This small box is a great addition to any sim rig. With only 3.5 inches wide, it gives you all the information you need, including how many laps completed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SARG Superspeedway series, as these drivers are here at the TI Racing 175 here in Michigan. It's round number 5. Leading the way is going to be 71 of Jordan Clark, as they'll be trying to drive off. He's going to be trying to trick Lucas Cram. He's going to get help from the 24, as that almost jammed everyone up back just because he took off and then let off.
Absolutely. When you start going, you go. Not sure what the idea was for that or why he decided to do it. But when you take off, you go. And here comes Clint Spillman to the outside with help. He's trying to look for the lead for the first time tonight.
They're going to be 3-4 wide back there for about 6th place. But up front, Clint Spillman in the 88 machine. The 5 of Kyle Manger are going to be leading that charge, as well as some machines that we've seen. Here comes the 67 on the inside. He'll be drifting up a little bit here. Cram's got to be careful as they all start to move up, trying to give each other as much space as possible. I mean, Michael, 22 laps to go. It's been hard racing since the drop of the green. Already 9 cautions so far. We'll see if we can make it to the end here, green. But, ooh, horns close to Cram.
88 led the lap and is now dropping back. Not sure if that was a plan or what, but he almost got wrecked by the 5 car until he told him to go below him.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just feel like when you're up front, there's just too much action to worry about. As looking at some of the drivers that are in here, there comes the 56. We have not talked about Treywick at all, but Blake Treywick up in the top 5 when it matters with 21 laps to go. Real thing. I mean, he's up to 3rd now, pushing the 67 of Connor Horn. They're 3 wide back there for 4th place.
We've got 21 laps to go as they hit the start-finish line. A car just blinked. That was
Treywick
talking about.
Blake Treywick's got to be careful. He's still blinking. This is a major issue for these drivers. If they get a draft and he pops up in front of these machines, this could be costly. And Treywick just going to drop out of the way. That's a very smart move by the 56 machine.
Out of the way. The admins called for him to get out of the way. Now we have a big gap that's going to allow the 44 car to possibly get a run. 67 all over the back bumper of that 5.
We'll see if either one of them wants to drop out of the way and possibly make a move here. Deaking move on the 5 machine. We do have a total of 3 cars that have officially left and are done of the race. Alex Bell in the 15, caught up in that last incident, is done. The 81 of Jeremy Jones, I believe he's also done, as well as the 12 of Gavin Jones. And other machines still in pit road. The 30 machine, after blowing up his engine, trying to get as many repairs to get back out there.
Absolutely. They're starting to get single file again. 67 trying to stay right on the back bumper of the 5. Here comes the 44 again. Lucas Cram back to the inside with the 9 car for help.
Yeah, the 9 machine helping Cram out as they're running very quick on the inside. You're seeing hard racing for sure as they're about to almost decide to go 3 wide for the lead. And Horn able to back out and give space for the 5 machine, which is going to leave that's going to leave the 44 of Lucas Cram all on his lonesome on the inside now, finally getting help after dropping back to 4th place.
Trying to get to the inside here, the 9 machine under the 44 car. That's not what these front drivers need to see. Here comes the 24 ducking to the inside, maybe trying to get a bit of side draft, but it's just not going to work. When you got draft right behind somebody, they're going to get the run no matter what.
This back group is about to come with a head of steam. There is a little bit of space that's going to give them a lot of room to work with. They're 3 wide back here. If they can single file to double file up, they can really carry a lot of momentum forward and possibly blow by our leaders. But it's all about getting the right momentum, getting ready to go forward. As the 9 car drops back to Spillman, but up front, it's the 5, 67, 24, and the 44, all on top of one another. And then you've got Stanley in the 26, who has made contact in that last caution, now running in 5th place, just waiting and lingering for his time to make a move here.
Absolutely. He's trying to get there. The outside lane is prevailing. The 24 trying to stay up with them, but he's got no help on the inside. And this is where the side draft comes into play. As you see, I believe that's Christopher Tate in the 4 machine. He's getting up here now, trying to move up into the top 5.
I mean, this is a blend view, and you can just see the drivers scattered up front. They're very close on top of one another. Any type of a mistake on the inside or the outside could be taking another driver out. That second group, though, that's about 4 car lengths back. They're just waiting and lingering. They're waiting for their time. 15 laps to go might be their marker to finally group up. As you're starting to see, this lead group, they're all on top of one another. And I believe the driver that's on the back end of this group is actually going to be the 67 of Robbie Lyons. And Lyons, someone we've seen be very quick and ready to make a move, as well as Alex Fox at the end of this lead pack. It's 10 cars in this lead pack, ready to shuffle their way around as we're coming to 15 laps to go. If you're in that back pack, you got to get ready to start moving forward here soon.
Absolutely. Christopher Tate clears for 4th position. Now the outside lane really working here. Look at the 44 just touches the outside wall. He tried to get a run on the outside of the 67, and 67 shut it down.
Very lucky that it didn't scrub off even more time or more damage, as the Ford machine of Christopher Tate is there, as well as Stanley, as well as Olsen, waiting for their time to start making moves forward, as the 24 of Olsen really ducks in on the inside and trying to make a bold move that really didn't do anything for him.
Well, he tried to get it on the outside so he wouldn't be freight traded anymore, cut right up in front of Clint Spillman. And now he's going to try to work on momentum. He's going to try to push that 26 machine.
Right now, looking and
seeing.
seeing.
Look at the run they're getting. Oh, the 24 wanted him to duck to the inside. You saw that, but the 26 said no. So now the 24 is going to duck beneath them. But now the 24 is going to be once again left out as these drivers stick to the outside lane.
Big Olsen wants to go. The rest of the field says, let's wait. Let's not make a hard charge just yet. Last week, we saw Connor Horn get the win, and it was 2 lanes just staying in line. No one tried to make a pretty big move there at the end of the race. I don't see us being too kind this time around, as here comes that second pack we were talking about. They finally have caught up to this lead group, making this lead group now a total of 11, I believe now 12 cars, as they are getting bigger and bigger up front.
Let me tell you, that 24 car really slid up behind the 4 of Christopher Tate, and I thought for sure he was going to bump him sideways. Christopher Tate pulls out of line. Now he's going to be forced to go backwards, as the 24 is going to get the run to his outside lane. 24
and the 4 going to be side by side here. This is the battle for right now 5th place to figure out where they're at. Looks like Nick Olsen going to be staying on the 44 back bumper of Lucas Cram. Cram, we've seen him. He's won stage 1 here at Michigan, trying to get the sweep of the stage win and the win of the race. That's coming across the line. It's time to make your moves now. 12 laps to go here. Michael, I mean, we're going to be seeing a lot more cars joining up in this lead group, as you see there, shuffling and bumping, as Lucas Cram on the inside, able to hold on for now, but here comes Manger on the 5 machine. As the longer this run goes on, and with the tires changing, that outside line is going to be looking more and more tempting as the place to go. As you're starting to see, it's a lane above the yellow line where you want to be holding yourself, and you might even want to be 2 lanes above there if you want to carry the right momentum out of the corner.
Lucas thought he could slide up in front of the 5, and he was not clear. He tried the slide job, and it just wasn't there and ready. So now he's stuck to the inside by himself, as the 5 machine of Kyle Manger still just holding this lead with Connor Horn right behind him.
Yeah, that's the key, right? That Manger has just been holding his line, and Horn has been staying on that back bumper this whole entire time. The question is, though, when is Horn's engine going to blow? You've been seeing him duck in and out, trying to get air into that engine, because he is right on the back bumper on these front stretch and back stretch. It's making me a little concerned for the 67 machine if he's going to have enough power with the engine being so warm to even try to make a pass.
10 laps of racing to go here at Michigan, and the outside lane is definitely the lane to be in as they're approaching a lapped machine who's right in the outside lane. Going to now hold it to the inside. That is the 2 machine.
It's Kyle Dagger, who's going to be on the inside trying to get out of the way, but he's still staying on the racing surface on the inside. This is when things are going to get tricky. Everyone has to move up at least 2 lanes and try to stay above that black line groove that everyone likes to be running in here at Michigan. As everyone runs high, we'll see if anyone starts to feel like, hey, this outside line isn't too bad. As right now, Nick Olsen, once again, trying to use the side draft. Got a lot more momentum out of that corner. He's now side by side, getting a little bit of help from Lucas Cram. But here comes Nick Olsen, holding it strong, still side by side for 2nd place.
Yep, they're trying to stay side by side. The 44 is going to stick to the outside. The 24 needs to help. The side 24 has got to get aggressive with this side draft in order to stay side by side. Now, it looks like that's what he's going to do. Now, what will these cars behind him do? Is the 44 going to go to the inside? No, look at the 24 going to go for the lead.
Nick Olsen still trying to power his way through with the inside lane. He can really keep moving forward just slowly. Now he's going to have Lucas Cram on his back bumper. The 24 and the 44 making that inside line push, getting by Manger as well as Connor Horn on the outside. Christopher Tate is now moved up, and now it's a 5-car pack trying to pull away. It's really, we call it a pack, but it's only a couple tenths. Oh no! Lucas Cram gets a little bit out of shape, almost ran into Tate, and there goes the car around. Nick Olsen gets spun on the inside on the backstretch. Nowhere to go. Caution comes out.
And that, unfortunately, I mean, that's a product of this racing. You know, you're not gonna back out for it. And he tried to slide up in front and just lost all of his momentum when he slid up like that.
As we're going to see the 24 car coming into action out of the corner, trying to hold, and Manger gets right on the rear left quarter panel that launches him out of the corner and spinning him around. And that's going to be bringing out caution number 10 up front. Nick Olsen, someone who we've been seeing march his way forward and try for so long to get up front, gets spun around once he does.
Yep. And yet, you know, it's the product. It's like I said, it's the product. You can see it. He slid right up in front of him, and Nick and the 5 wasn't going to slow down. You know, that's a product of the race, and you know, you got laps to go. He slid up in front of you, so that's just how it goes. That's good quality racing. You know, it sucks for the 24 machine, but you know, you get what you take. And with a run like that, it's pretty much the only run that the 24 had to try to get the lead.
Kyle Dagger's going to be given the lucky dog position here for the 2 who we saw go a lap down there. So he'll be driving back around, giving us a total of 25 cars left on the lead lap as everyone pulls into the pits. No one's staying out. I think that's a very smart move because for our leaders, if they stayed out, that was going to be giving the advantage for the cars in the back. We'll see if anyone in the back decides to stay out. Most likely they will not. As we have a total of 4 cars out of the race. We've already documented the three machines of Alex Bell, Jeremy Jones, and Gavin Jones. Now add Michael Schwinks into that group of cars for the 30 machine who is officially out.
Some interesting moves here. The 5 car took 4 tires and is more than likely going to lose spots coming off of pit road here. And I'm not sure who the leader could be.
Ooh, Christopher Tate going with the 2-tire stop.
I think he was fuel only.
No, he was out there for 10.6 seconds on pit road. That's a 2-tire stop for that driver. A lot of 2-tire stops from first all the way down to 9th place. We saw 2-tire stops. And then from 10th on back, Robbie Lyons is going to be leading that charge. In 10th place, he went for 4 tires.
And we're going to have a restart with about maybe 5 laps to go. As we right now we have 6 laps to go. No, we have 7 laps to go right now. No, I'm wrong.
Nope. You were right. It was 6 laps to go for these drivers.
So it's going to be a 4-lap restart then.
Yeah.
The 71 I think stayed out again, unless he's a lapped car.
That's who came in. The 5 machine, I believe, was gifted the lead, and he decided to go with a 5. Went with a 4-tire stop, as well as Lucas Cram. They're going to be 6th and 7th, losing positions to our new top 5. Going to be led by the 4 of Christopher Tate, Brandon Hoff, Clint Spillman, Blake Trawick, we were seeing have internet issues. Now a second chance to be up front, and Alex Fox now. That is going to be your top 5. And then you've got Lucas Cram, Kyle Manger, and Connor Horn. Those are the 3 drivers that took 4 tires. And then Quinn Gringridge, our pole sitter, went for 2. Going to be 9th place. 10th is going to be Sean Howell. And I got to say, Michael, it's going to be a wild race here. I mean, it's already been crazy, but we might be going for a green white checkered here.
Yeah, I feel like we're with 4 laps left. This is going to be an interesting 4 laps to see if these cars can hold it, because Christopher Tate, it's going to be Christopher Tate, Brandon House, Clint Spillman in 3rd, and then there's the 56, who was blinking earlier but seems to have settled out. Now he's in 4th place. Alex Fox in 5th place. This is just going to be mayhem. And then you got the cars that took 4 tires after that with Lucas and Kyle Manger. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see if those 4 tires are better than 2 tires when we come to get the green here shortly.
And we are now ready to get going as these drivers stacked up, ready to go. Like we said, our front 2, Christopher Tate, Brandon Hoff. We're getting ready to go green here. This could be the final restart, but I think Michael and I both know green-white checkers are looming up over us. Is this the TI Racing 175 green flag here at Michigan as we go 4 laps to go? Christopher Tate gets a massive launch. Really, it might be too far out, but here comes Clint Spillman to the back bumper of the 4.
The 9 car going to aggressively get to the inside lane, and that's going to stack up the inside lane. Oh, yellow flag.
Caution back. Caution in the back is another hard contact. That's going to be the 71 and the 51, both blowing their engines. And I believe both of them have already used fast repairs. They might be done.
Yep, and it was the 24 making it 3 wide, and the 50 just really wasn't having an issue or having any of it.
And we're going to take another look here, and you're exactly what Michael just said. The 24 car dropping down the 50, and the contact made there as they also netcode into one another, up into the wall for both. The 20 machine also involved into the wall, I believe, there. And the 71 of Jordan Clark, nowhere to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's happened earlier. That happened earlier to me in one of another race. It's a driver impatient, 4 laps to go. He's trying to work his way through the field, puts his nose in where there's not any room, and to try to get it, to try to move forward, and he just takes out somebody. So that was not a smart move on the 24 car to do that. But I know the mentality is I got to go and I got to go now. But I mean, when there's nowhere to put your nose, you don't need to be doing moves like that.
Yeah, and the hard thing is Nick Olsen was up front. He was battling for the lead. He was stuck all the way back here and battling for drivers around 20th position, and he just wanted to get up front as quick as possible, not able to. And with this late caution, it's now going to be gifting the lead, and I believe we're going to be going to a green-white checkered here, Michael. But before we get ready for the green-white checkered, I do want to talk about what's going on with our top left icon. As you see, when we're green, our FRN logo is pink here. For the whole entire month of October, we've been helping with the Foundation of Helping Out with Breast Cancer Awareness. If you go down on the description of our YouTube page, you'll see that we do have a link there for donations if you want to donate for that awareness. Like we said, we've been doing it all month long. It's a great cause to help with breast cancer awareness. Michael, it's looking like our ticker's changed. It's green-white checker time.
Attempt 1 of 3, and let's hope that we actually can get this done in one attempt here. These drivers. Well, I don't think these drivers are going to need fuel because they came down pit road on the previous caution. So
yeah, everyone is good.
I think these drivers are going to be okay. So the 4 is going to take the inside. Oh, the caution has been extended at least an extra lap here. So it's going to have to wait and see how it goes.
All right, Michael, we're going to throw it to you. You've got a lot more racing experience on your hands than I do. I know this is a really different scenario than most, but I would imagine that you're going to want to probably be running in second or third for this restart, not first, just because you're going to be really a sitting duck here on the backstretch.
Not necessarily. It depends on how you can work the draft. Yeah, you want to be second because you can get the run on the driver, but if you don't catch him in the right moment or that driver throws a block, then all that momentum is lost. So what you can see Clint Spillman do here is try to either match the start or try to hope that the 9 car doesn't get going right away so he can kind of get back in line here. That's probably Clint's only move unless the 44 can push him to at least try to get the lead there or keep him in second place.
Other drivers got to keep our eye out for. We've got Connor Horn back in 7th, as well as Menger in the 5. They've been making some very bold moves so far. From the start of the race to now, I wouldn't be surprised if they stick their nose where it really shouldn't be putting. But I mean, it's late in the race. It's now time to be making any type of move you think is going to help you get up front. So, expect a lot of bold moves back around that 6th on to 10th position. Some drivers that are running in the 10th, in the top 10, surprised to see up here. Robbie Lyons, we saw get involved with some accidents back in 9th place, as well as Jared Darling in that one machine who we're used to seeing running up front in our top 5 at Talladega and Daytona. Right now, it's just been having a long day of trying to work his way forward. But watch out for that machine. We haven't really seen what Treywick has in the 56 machine. Does he have anything for these front runners? We've seen internet connections that had to take the 56 out of contention for a chance to battle for our leaders. We know Christopher Tate's quick. We know that Spillman's got some runs. That 9 machine, though, he's not afraid to make some bold moves. Pace trucks off. Michael, it's time for us to try our first attempt at a green-white checkered here for the T1 Racing 175 at Michigan. Round number 5. Who's going to get it done? Here we go for the first attempt of a green-white checkered.
The 4 car got a good jump, but here comes the 88 right to the outside lane. The 44 is going to be pushing them. The 9 going to try to switch up to the middle lane, but it's going to be probably the good outside lane that we could see get the run here as they're 3 wide.
Under. Treywick of the 56, he got under the 9 of Hoff. It might not be enough, though. He doesn't have any help as they're 3 wide all the way down the back stretch. Might be even 4 wide as Treywick's going to be making a little bit of internet issues there, as well as the 9. 4 wide, Spillman stuck on the outside. It's going to be a lot of racing up front, but Lucas Cram getting help from Connor Horn as they're running up front. As Christopher Tates gets no help, that white flag out in the air, the next flag is going to be bringing out the rest of this race. Whoever's up front gets the win. Lucas Cram, Connor Horn, and Kyle Manger, your top 3.
To the inside goes the 5 machine. The 44 got to figure out how to. Oh, there's a wreck in the back. And
They're wrecking back. It doesn't matter. We stay green.
44's just got to work both lanes. They're still wrecking all over the place. Here they come to the inside. He won the stage earlier tonight. It looks like he might be able to pick up the full victory. He's going to block the 7. Here comes the 5 to the inside. The 44 wins the race and then gets wrecked.
Lucas Cram of the 44 machine gets it done here at Michigan. The one very odd course is now he blew up his engine after how hard he was running. A little bit of contact after crossing the line. While Lucas Cram gets it done. Out of that first restart, coming through the back stretch, got a huge run as cars are still scattering everywhere with hard contacts. Oh my goodness, I believe that's the 97 of Lions that's there. But I mean, we know who our top 3 are. They're running well. Surprise, surprise, Jared Darling getting the 1 machine, gets 4th place. And then we've got Christopher Tate in the 4 machine getting 5th place there. A surprising top 5 to see, but our top 3, not so much.
Yeah, and that was a heck of a move. The 44, I don't know if he got the 88 loose on the restart, but the 88 just went all the way up to the wall, and that was just spelled out disaster as the 44 car is going to get set to do his burnouts, and we wait to do interviews.
Yeah, we're going to wait and see if he even has enough power to do burnouts. The thing's blown up. He's going to try his best, and he's able to at least get some smoke out there. It's a mixture of tire smoke and engine smoke. Lucas Cram gets it done, and as he's burning it down, we're going to take a quick look here at the final results. We talked about our final 5 already. Blake Treywick going to be getting 6th place, and then we got Howell going to be in that 38 machine, 7th place, and then all the other drivers. I'm surprised in 9th place, though. Brett Murphy, who brought out our first caution in the 11, was able to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve Rada going to get 8th place, and in 10th, it's going to be Colby Wells. And then from 11th through 12th, I mean, these are some drivers that were most likely caught up in a lot of those accidents later on in this thing, so it was really a mad dash to get to the line. But Michael, any surprises from 11th through 20th?
I mean, it's just all over the place, man. You know, with all the wrecking, a lot of spots are up for grabs, hard to get through, but, you know, not really surprising at all. It sucks for a lot of these drivers who got taken out late on, but that's just the product of racing trying to get to the finish as we have our 3rd place ready to come in.
As we bring in 3rd place, we'll still have the results going through. Kyle, it's Sam and Michael up in the booth. You got us?
Hey, what's going on?
I mean, it looked like it was between Lucas and Connor and yourself all race long, but how was it for you at the end? Was there anything else you could have done?
I don't know if I made my move too early there on the backstretch. I just wanted to try something and hope we would get some sort of momentum. Still thought I had a shot off 4, but Connor couldn't get to the outside of Lucas. He did a good job blocking that run, and from there just kind of had to drag it out with Connor to the end there. But had a shot at least. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, overall, you had one of the faster cars out there. We saw everyone trying to make a lot more aggressive moves today. Were you surprised on how aggressive everyone was from the start of this race?
Yes and no. We're all kind of in a box with this package, this type of track. So a little bit different style from Daytona and Talladega. And I think we were all kind of learning tonight. So you had to be aggressive, though, to keep your track position and keep the momentum up by the wall. That way you didn't get freight train, which, just made for a more aggressive race. But overall, I think we kind of figured it out towards the end.
And Michael, if you have any questions.
It was crazy out there, man. You were going from the back to the front, to the front to the back, and just it was crazy out there. How were you able to just get your car up to the spot that you needed it to be to make those moves?
You really got to take the momentum whenever you get a run and make sure you don't get freight trained there on the bottom. So just being smart with your takes and when to stay towards the wall. Once the tires kind of got some laps on there, you were a little easier to stay up front.
Well, Kyle, it's a great run for yourself. It's going to help you a ton points-wise to get you back into the top 20 here. Before we let you go, though, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. Really been enjoying watching these past few weeks. I got to thank my Trap House Discord for watching tonight. And Lucas, Robbie, everyone else that puts this on for us every week. I really enjoy being here.
It's going to be Kyle Menger in the 5 machine getting a top 3 finish, and hopefully we'll be talking to you in the booth next week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, Michael, I mean, overall, a crazy win for Lucas Cram, who really was putting on the best show that he possibly could, as we're looking to see if Connor Horn is ready for interviews.
He's not, but our winner is, so let's go ahead and get him up in here.
Lucas, it's Sam and Michael again. We talked to you at stage 1, and now we get to talk to you at Victory Lane. How are you feeling after that race?
Definitely, pretty wild. Like I said in the stage there, it was kind of the same thing there, and we had that long run there where the tires really kind of wore off and really became a factor there, and I think that's what helped me there. That green checkered and those last 2, quick shootouts was just because I had the tires from one of the other guys, but. Definitely a different element of racing. We tried it out here tonight, and it's unfortunate, with a lot of cautions, and it's just a part of trying to do something different like this, in the league. So I mean, we tried it. I mean, it was definitely fun in a lot of aspects, and I hope people see that. Definitely a weird one for sure, and it was pretty wild there at the end. I knew Connor was going to be really aggressive, obviously, and it was going to do a really good job there to try to work his way around me. And it was basically just try to block the top at the same time. You can't let somebody get to the middle and take it through wide. So, it was pretty difficult there, and so I managed to get it done. But definitely glad I didn't end up wrecking myself there either.
I mean, you had a heck of a run there, won the stage, and then here you are in Victory Lane now. Man, that was a heck of a run. How were you able to push Clint out of the way, and then do you take the lead yourself?
Yeah. Connor my meter, and I knew, if I left any gap there in the middle, he was going to go for it. So I made sure I just kept that nice and tight and didn't give him the opportunity to take me 3. And then, so at that point, I was pretty much just mirror driving, not to the point I was going to wreck anybody, but just making sure that I didn't get taken through by top. And, because I knew Clint went to the top to either protect it, or I didn't realize I was going to sit down there. So it really worked perfectly in my favor. And I was shocked that that all went down that way. So that was definitely the move that set me up for the last lap there for sure, obviously, and really helped me secure that win.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas, overall, fantastic race for yourself, and Michigan probably is going to be the most unique race of the whole entire season, but we're going back to Daytona, but we're going to the legacy version. How are you feeling about that next week?
Yeah, it should be really fun. Obviously our first time this season go to the old bumpy version of Daytona. It's a lot different than Daytona. You might just think that it's a different year and there's, some bumps, but it just drives totally different because of how severe the bumps are. So I feel definitely cool, to have back-to-back weeks like this, especially with different kind of stuff and kind of, the middle part of the regular season is fun. And, I got my first win there and the first time went there back in race 3 of the 2019 truck season. So hopefully we can try to replicate that maybe and try to get after the victory as well.
Well, Lucas, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, really, a huge shout out to everybody show up and racing it. Obviously, I hope they at least appreciated it, or at least enjoyed it a little bit. And of course, a huge shout out to you guys for an awesome broadcast. Huge shout out to Grit Marketing and Grit Motorsports and all those guys. I don't know if you guys noticed in the broadcast there, but we got brand new logos for this week and kind of changed everything over there last second. So love the new look. It looks awesome. And huge shout out to Kyle Dagger for not only being the team owner, obviously, but also getting that all set up and having all that. And then huge shout out to Robbie for letting me actually stay at and race at his place. I'm kind of in the process of moving, so it's definitely been hectic for me, obviously. And this is my last time on this kind of makeshift rig, so it's definitely glad to be able to actually show up and race every week.
Well, Lucas, it was a blast to watch from us up in the booth, and congratulations on getting the win here today. That's Lucas Cram of the 44 machine getting the win here, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, Michael, since we're starting to wind down here, what were some of your final thoughts while watching this race? Because it was a wild one.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy and intense, and I loved every minute of it. And, I could have done with a little less cautions, but like he said, it's just a product of trying something new. So, it was very interesting, very action-packed, fun, cars all over the place, and, a new winner, I guess you could say, for, locking himself in. And it was just exciting. I'm so glad I got to call it.
It is exciting to see. That's another race in the books. 3 more races left until we start to see who's going to be in our playoffs, as we're going to be going to the Legacy Daytona, then Talladega, and then going back to the repaved Daytona, finish out the regular season, and then we've got our 4 races for the playoffs. It's all about hitting your moment now. The momentum is key to have that luck, skill, and the wins to make sure you're up front. Michael, thanks again for being in the booth with me here tonight. It's been a blast.
Absolutely, it has. And can't wait to see what happens next week. Also, a shout out to Tyler Riggs. Please get well soon, and we'll hope to see you back next week, maybe.
Yeah, we hope for Tyler Riggs to be back in the booth here on our Wednesday night broadcast. It's always a blast to hear his knowledge on racing as well. And Michael, it's been a blast, and cannot wait for more racing to happen. Like we said, next week, it's going to be Legacy Daytona for these drivers for the round of 6 out of the 8 for the regular season, then 4 after that. There's a lot of racing going on for us here at the Flatout Racing Network. It continues on tomorrow night, where if you like Superspeedway racing, it's going to be on the NR 2003 side with the RTG Talladega Challenge. They're going to be having more racing going on that end, as well as short track racing we're going to have here on Flatout Racing Network for the ASRA. We've got some street stocks and super late model action tomorrow night. Can't wait for all that action to be going down. For myself, Sam Dyer, and for Michael Norman, thank you for watching another presentation of the Flatout Racing Network. Can't wait to see you next week for the Legacy Daytona Racing bumping action. But for us, have a great rest of your night.